This is Golic and Wingo. Golic and Wingo for Monday, February 17th.
Hey now, you're an all-star.
2020 NBA All-Star Weekend. That was pretty damn fun.
Hey now, you're an all-star.
It's a great start to that new format.
Felt like the end of a playoff game almost.
You still had the entertaining dunks that you'd like to see from these incredible athletes.
Chris Paul caught an alley-oop in this game.
Holy shooting star.
That is the kind of environment that we're fostering. I am for that.
But I have to say, it ending on a free throw felt kind of dirty.
We could all use a little shade.
Davis has the ball. Free throw up. It's good. It's over. Team LeBron has won the 69th NBA All-Star game.
You know what? I was cynical going into the weekend about All-Star Weekend. I wasn't sure that it was going to live up. I'm not sure the dunk contest. Every year I feel like it's not going to be as good as it used to be. Like I'm turning into old man on the lawn. Like get off my lawn guy. And then I watched all weekend, and it was even better than I expected. Heck of a weekend for the NBA. Golic and Wingo on ESPN Radio and ESPN2. Presented by Progressive Insurance. All phone guests join us on the Shell Pennzoil Performance Line. Jason Fitz in for Trey with Mike Golic and Mike Golic Jr. And, you know, guys, there hasn't been a ton. We've talked about it a lot on this show. That the NBA has had a hard time getting momentum this year. There's been a lot that's been wrong with the NBA as far as getting people really invested into it. All-Star Weekend held none of that. It was a spectacular weekend in the world of the skills challenges and the NBA All-Star Game. They both really gave us sort of the best and the rising All-Star. I mean, it gave us the best of the right now and the best of the future for the NBA. And those are the moments you look at and say, man, this product is awesome. I don't know why everybody's not coming to it yet this year, but it was a huge success for the weekend.
Well, it felt like there was something on the line that was real enough to motivate the players. And I think that's the interesting thing looking at this now. I just sit here and kind of think out loud, which is, all right, this clearly was a successful weekend for the NBA, which is supposed to be the celebration of basketball midseason. This is why we hear Adam Silver all the time is fascinated with the idea of a midseason tournament. Something that could have real tangible results, a real tangible reward potentially, whether that's financial or otherwise, that incentivizes real competitive play and not what we always hear about, load management, intermittent use of stars on the court, games where guys aren't maybe going to give 100% because they know a lot of them, especially the veteran players, are building towards the postseason.
Yeah, I still don't know how that one's going to work. Again, I don't mind them trying stuff, but I still don't know if guys still want to rest during that and not care if they win that midseason tournament or not.
I mean, I guess it's the same sort of thought process as why would guys play hard for any stretch of this if they were going to in the middle of what could be a break weekend.
I get it, but this is one game that they're used to on a break weekend as opposed to really kind of, even though the tournament would count as individual games as well. I was going to
say, it would be in place of individual games.
It'll be interesting if they go down there. And again, I have no problem trying some new things. Like, I thought it worked really well yesterday. The actual All-Star game itself was the least thing I would pay attention to. I like the skills competition, the three-point, the slam dunk. And by the way, they were all entertaining. Even though there was a controversy at the end of the slam dunk, which is understandable, it was very entertaining. I mean, incredibly entertaining. And then I would be ho-hum on the game. But the game, again, 3 individual games, first quarter, second quarter, third quarter, and then combine the scores and reach a number you have to hit in the fourth quarter. The fourth quarter was extremely, you got your crazy athletic moves in the first 3 quarters, like 48 dunks or whatever. And then in the last period, you had actual defense being played, offensive, fouls being called, and a lot less dunks and no fast break points because guys were playing to win.
Well, and it feels like to that point, the first 3 quarters were a little bit of let's just have some fun, and then you knew you were going to have to get into lockdown mode in the fourth. Kawhi Leonard, by the way, was on fire the entire game. 30 points. He won the Kobe Bryant All-Star MVP trophy. That's your Stats Incredible. Stats Incredible, brought to you by My Computer Career, training for a better life. And again, for anyone that didn't see it, the All-Star MVP trophy renamed after Kobe Bryant. That's one of many things that they did. I also want to give the city of Chicago a real shout out. We were there for this show, obviously, on Friday, but there are certain cities that you feel like they gravitate to these events more, and they're into it more. And Chicago, absolutely a tremendous host for the course of the weekend, and just the way even the locals, whether it was the locals or the travelers, I mean, I think there's just a cool moment there that reminds you of the greatness of the basketball city of Chicago that we forget about because the Bulls have been just so dreadful for, at this point, what feels like so long.
Yeah, but the rich basketball tradition, like Pat Beverly, who was in the skills contest, came into All-Star Weekend, like had been injured before that, and said, I was at the taping for the Woj pod that he was a part of on Saturday of that weekend, And he said the front office of the Clippers was not happy that he was going and competing in this. But he's like, I'm from Chicago. And as he put it, he's like, I am from the dirt of Chicago. Like, I am from actual, like, city limit Chicago in this. I'm not going to not come and show out for my hometown crowd in a lot of this. So that's what it means to so many guys. Anthony Davis, who hit the ultimately game-clinching free throw, the walk-off free throw on there, a Chicago native and another guy that certainly I think wanted to come back and give the city a show.
And we see sometimes how that game works. You know, you kind of push the hometown guy. So a lot of people thought AD might be the favorite for the MVP, that they would kind of push him along. He ended up with 20 points and 9 rebounds in this one. And as Mike said, the number was 157 that had to be hit for the win, which we all kind of liked. It didn't play with a clock. It played to a score, which is kind of like, you know, pick up basketball in the park, which is pretty cool. But it did end on a free throw. Maybe, you know, one of the unintended consequences was it wasn't an actual play. It was a guy standing at the free throw line making it, and all of a sudden the game was over. So that was kind of odd, but I liked it. I mean, it had me paying way more attention to it than I had the actual game in the past.
And I think to that, in the format and the way they did it, and again, we've said this, each quarter the score reset, but then going into the fourth quarter, they took the cumulative score and they added 24 in honor of Kobe to the leader score, and so that's what made it 157. So first team to 157 won. It felt like a playground atmosphere to that, which was amazing. Now, you mentioned earlier the controversy with the dunk contest, but I will say this. As much as there was controversy and the judges thought that they had rigged it where they were going to get a tie, one of the judges, we've deduced, Dwayne Wade, we think, didn't go along with that plan, so we end up getting a situation where Aaron Gordon loses at the very end in a dunk contest again. But I will say this. What's cool about it is it was a great dunk contest. And I mean, it feels like there was this period where the dunk contest became very stagnant. I'll take controversy because there's people jumping over 7'5", I don't care what you say, jumping over 7'5", 7'5" athletes. I'll take that all day long.
I agree with you that throughout the course of the contest, we saw some wild stuff because it was like 4 or 5 years ago that we kind of thought, all right, we had exhausted most everything that you can do because these guys aren't like professional. Like you see guys on YouTube all the time that are just dunkers. They spend their time. There was that great viral dunk going around of that pass that went behind the guy's head that he caught at the backhand of a tomahawk. Like, for guys that spend their time doing that, you can get a lot more. These guys have a day job. Like, they have to go out and win normal basketball games, and so they can't sit around doing all this. We saw so much in the way, especially, I mean, Aaron Gordon and Derrick Jones Jr., say what you want. Aaron Gordon should have won. 100% should have won. Probably the second time going back to 2016. But regardless, like, both of these guys put on an absolute show. It was a two-man game for the ages, even if he didn't clear Taco.
And he
cleared Taco.
Again, like, I don't know what definition of clear you have.
Listen, he cleared him enough for me to still be unbelievably amazed with what he did.
Not what I'm saying.
Did he clear him completely? No, he did not.
Okay, that's all I want to hear you say. That's all I want to hear you say. It was still.
I would have never even brought that up had you not, just because you want to rain on the parade.
I'm not.
The man just about cleared a 7'5" human being.
All right, listen. What is this just about? Look, listen.
He cleared him.
The wise man once said, "You don't gotta lie to kick it." All right. This was still impressive. I still said, because again, I am blown away all weekend long by how bleeping tall all these guys are. It is terrifying to me as a person who by normal societal standards is pretty tall. When he brought him out and even getting close on the guy that's 7'5" is worth it. Aaron Gordon should have won the dunk contest. We don't have to lie and say he cleared Taco Fall. We don't have to do that. We don't have to live in fear of the internet mob.
We also just need to bring it up and you know.
I want to have the conversation.
No, it's like the Olympics when you jump over the high jump and you hit the bar. If the bar wiggles shakes, but doesn't fall,
it counts.
It's still all right. Nobody fell. His no places weren't hurt. That to me means he cleared him. He went over his head.
Taco's
his
neck might not feel great
fine.
Today.
I mean, Taco's very apparently Taco's got a bendy neck. I don't know, like
a bendy neck.
All I'm saying is, when you're around the water cooler today and your friends are talking about this, you don't have to live in fear of pointing out the obvious here. That while impressive, we don't have to go with the lie and say that he cleared him. We can just say, yeah, he jumped over Taco. It was awesome. Everybody had a great time. Aaron should have won. Like, I will unburden you as you go into your place of work this morning. I will take the shrapnel and I will take the slings and arrows for you. That's just kind of guy.
You done? Are you done?
My sacrifice is
Here's
unbelievable.
the shame of it all: is Aaron Gordon has now been in 3 dunk contests and probably will not go in another one because of this. And we all know what we're hoping for. we all can't wait next year as Zion can stay healthy that he's in the dunk contest, right? That's what everybody is looking forward to, and will he do it? Because LeBron has never been in one. Michael Jordan was in 3. I mean, Michael Jordan did the dunk contest, but players of today are somewhat, worried about if they're the favorite and they lose, right? So they don't go in.
I mean, what's the gain for Zion?
The big name players have very little
which is
to
a
gain.
shame because the big name players all used to do this. So that is a shame.
But we just talked about, like we saw from this last night, you don't need them for it to go well.
No, I understand that, but you're not telling me that 99.9% of the people are just hitting their knees praying Zion is in this thing next year.
I think I've kind of given up on the idea that big name guys are ever really
I think Zion is going to be in it. I think he will do it at least once. And get him when he's young. Get him when he's young and he just still wants to do it before, becomes that wily vet that says, I'm not going to do this stuff anymore.
It's Golic and Wingo on ESPN Radio and ESPN2. Okay, so we'll keep breaking down everything you need to know from the NBA All-Star Game weekend. But there was more sports this weekend. Y'all know that I am massive on the XFL. But after this weekend, maybe a little more concerned than I was Friday. We'll tell you why. We'll do all that next. Golic and Wingo on ESPN Radio, ESPN2.